From SNY.TV, headline, Mets top 30 prospects for 2024 season. New York's farm system is ascending. And before we get into this video, I need you to hit that subscribe button so you know what's going on with the Mets farm system, front office to a certain degree. Of course, the minor league players and anybody the Mets might sign and send down to the minors. As the Mets head into the 2024 season, which will be partly about a further evaluation of young players like Francisco Alvarez, Brett Baty, and Mark Vientos, there's also an ascending farm system building behind those players. The organization has been slowly building up this system by avoiding free agents attached to draft pick compensation and being selective regarding which prospects they're willing to trade for big league pieces. It is an important year of evaluation for President of Baseball Operations Dave Stearns, with the big league payroll clearly significantly after this season, just in time for a very strong free agent class. And the writer expects to see a different looking offseason than the one the Mets had in 23-24. Part of the above is allowing these young players runway at the big league level to assess where dollars need to be allocated and where you can fill from within. The ideal build of a team that sustains success is a mix of inexpensive young homegrown talent and the ability to find true impact players in the free agent market and trade markets to supplement it. Depending on which outlet you look at, the Mets have as many as 6 top 100 prospects. As far as organizational rankings, the Mets are basically a top 10 overall system. While they may not have the number 1 overall type of prospect they had with Alvarez, the system is probably as deep as it's been in years. For the first time due to popular demand, I expanded my top 20 list to a top 30. At number 1, infielder, center fielder Jet Williams. Plus athlete with plus plate discipline who started to show his promising bat-to-ball skills more as the 23 season went on, has underrated power, will likely never be a big home run threat. His defensive home long-term is likely to be in center field or second base. Looks to be a dynamic top-of-the-order type player. Thinking about a future with Jet and Brandon Nimmo at the top of the Mets order is exciting. I see Brandon Nimmo batting in the middle of the Mets lineup, not in the top of that lineup. That's my opinion. At number 2, as they say, Jet Williams will be here in 2025. He wants to be here this year. We'll see about that. He'll be starting, I guess, this year in Double-A. He went through 3 levels last year. At number 2, outfielder Drew Gilbert. While he may not have that true elite trait, he is average to above average across the board and took off in a meaningful way after joining the Mets organization with a 325 slash line for Double-A Binghamton with 15 extra base hits in 35 games in 2023. High energy player with enough range for center field and enough arm for right field. Should start it with AAA Syracuse and could be up early in 2024. Keep an eye on him in June at some point. He is compared to Lenny Dykstra and Brett Gardner as a player. The type of player that you hate if he's opposing you, but you love him if he's on your team. And number 3, infielder Luis Angel Acuna. Showed improved bat-to-ball skills in 23. He will work a walk, but does need to trim down the chase rate, especially on breaking balls. Shows power in batting practice, but simply has not translated to in-game power. High baseball IQ, plus athlete, and a good defender with second base likely being his long-term home. Stole 57 bases in 2023 while only being caught 10 times. He's on the 4-man roster already and should start AAA while being just a call and a fit away. He's right on the doorstep. The closest really is Drew Gilbert. But, he's probably number 2 in terms of everyday players. They say this year. At number 4, first baseman outfielder Ryan Clifford. Clifford was the second piece acquired in Justin Verlander in the trade, and some scouts like him more than Gilbert. This is the biggest power bat in the Mets system with a chance to be a 30-homer guy if he can make consistent contact as he elevates through the minor league system. He's a below-average athlete, and the Mets have split his time in the corner outfield spots as well as first base. Might be best long-term at first, but could have the bat to play there as a potential middle of the order thumper. They say 2026 will be here. At number 5, infielder Ronnie Mauricio. It is unfortunate for Mauricio that he will miss most, if not all, of the 2024 season due to a torn ACL. He had a real opportunity to push Beatty for the third base job. Mauricio combines exciting power potential with the ability to barrel the ball up and post elite exit velocities while elevating the ball. We will see how he bounces back athletically after the knee surgery. He's still a potential piece of the Mets' future. He's already made. He'll be back next year. And number 6, right-handed pitcher Christian Scott. Mets' top pitching prospect has already recently cracked a couple of the top 100 prospect lists. He primarily throws 3 pitches with a fastball that's around 93 to 97 miles per hour, with special ride and life to it, as well as a slider and split change. He has plus command, only walking 12 batters in 87 2/3 innings in 2023. It has been a slow buildup of innings as he's gone from a college reliever to a professional starter. This is feeling like a player development success story under the director of pitching development, Eric Jagers. Expected innings to jump in 24. I think Scott will be the first Mets pitching prospect to get called up to the big leagues this year. He's a potential mid-rotation starter. I've heard different things, that he could be an elite pitcher, but I don't know if he'll be the first up. At number 7, shortstop Calvin Houck. Mets' first-round pick, number 32 overall in the 2023 MLB draft. Houck was a 2-sport athlete who was also a 3-star recruit as a quarterback at the powerhouse Parkview High School in Georgia that produced big leaguers Matt Olson and Jeff Francoeur. Shows plus power in batting practice. Defensively, he's likely a long-term third baseman with plenty of arm for the spot. Scouts believe he has scratched the surface yet and expect growth with him fully focused on baseball now. His expectation to be here is in 2027. And number 8, right-handed pitcher Blade Tidwell. Tidwell had been my top pitching prospect in the system for the last year. He dips to second best, not because of anything he did wrong, but because of what Scott has done right now. Tidwell has high-level stuff with a fastball that can touch 98 miles per hour. His main secondary pitch is a wipeout slider that garners plenty of swings and misses. He needs to refine his changeup and further develop his command to remain a long-term starter. If those things don't click, he could be a number 2 and number 3 starter. If not, he has a future late-inning reliever written all over him. Some of these starters will not make it to the mound as a starter. They'll be on the mound as a reliever. He could be one of those guys. Number 9, catcher Kevin Parada. There was some disappointment with Parada's first pro season, he was expected that he would dominate the lower levels of the minors on the offensive side. Instead, he was just solid. Adjusting the pro ball as a catcher does take longer than other positions, and Mets fans have been a bit spoiled with the quick development of Alvarez. With that said, Parada needs a bounce-back year offensively. Defensively, he did make strides as a receiver as the season went on, but the throwing arm is well below average. Scouts believe he will be a big leaguer. It's just a matter of whether he is an impactful one or not. 2025, so he's not going to be here this year. At number 10, right-handed pitcher Mike Vasil. Vasil made it to AAA last season and had a bit of a tough time adjusting to the ABS, automated ball strike system. He did improve in his time in AAA, including taking a no-hitter into the 9th inning. He has a 4-pitch mix, none of which appears to be true plus offense, but he locates 4 average to above average pitches well. His fastball will touch 96 with a gyro slider, changeup, and curve. You may not have to see on guys like Scott and Tidwell, but he looks every bit of a back-end starter. The right expects him to make his big league debut this year. I would expect him to be the first to get a crack at the rotation sometime probably in July or August. Infielder at number 11, infielder Marco Vargas. Vargas was the headline piece of the David Robinson trade. His top trade is what has been described to me as elite pitch recognition skills. In 54 games between the Marlins and Mets complex league teams and Low A St. Lucie in 2023, he had 53 walks against only 38 strikeouts. Power won't be a big part of his game, but there's a belief he will hit for average and get on base. Defensively projects best at second base and has a chance to be an everyday player there. And 2027 is when he's expected to be here. And at number 12, right-handed pitcher Brandon Sprout. Mets drafted Sprout in the second round of the 23 draft out of Florida. He has the unteachable trait of being able to touch 100 miles per hour while sitting 94 to 97. His changeup is his best secondary pitch. He also has a slider that flashes plus and a fringy changeup. Mets will have to determine his preferred fastball type as his primary pitch, as he does not have ideal shape to it. If they can get there and refine his breaking balls, it's a mid-rotation upside. If not, the bullpen could be his home. He's another example of a guy that could be in the bullpen. And they say 2025 he'll be here. At number 13, right-handed pitcher Dominic Hamill. Hamill's a bit of an analytics darling. His fastball of 93, 94 miles per hour and top out at 96, but will have upwards of 20 inches of induced vertical break, which gives it that rising look. He has 4 secondary pitches: a slider, curveball, cutter, and changeup. The slider is the best of them and has spin rates that will get to 3,000 RPM. The writer says they keep an eye on his walk rate in AAA in 2024. Hamill had a reasonable 3.6 walks per 9 innings in 2023, but they wonder how his stuff that moves a lot will play with the ABS. They are not a big comparison when it comes to player comparison, but his stuff profile is very reminiscent of former Met Seth Lugo. They expect Hamill to be in the majors this year. At number 14, shortstop Jeremy Rodriguez. The return in the Tommy Pham trade was a prospect the Mets had looked at prior to him signing with the Diamondbacks as their top international signing in 23 for $1.25 million. His best traits at 17 years old are his advanced plate discipline and bat-to-ball skills. He will need to physically mature and impact the baseball more as he comes stateside and makes his way through the minor league system. Defensively, he has some actions to suggest he can handle shortstop. Recently, the Mets have frequently been on the other side of these types of trades. They're excited with what they have seen from Rodriguez since joining the organization. They expect him to be here in 2028. Number 15, catcher Giovanni Rodriguez. Rodriguez was the Mets' top international signing in 24 out of Venezuela for $2.85 million. He's being lauded as advanced for his age when it comes to barrel control with raw power. Defensively, he is where he stands out as a solid receiver, and one Mets scout told me he has a 70 grade arm. Some of his pop times or workouts have been better than what J.D. Realmuto has done at the big league level. He's a long way away, but the Mets are as excited about Rodriguez as they have been about any international signing in a few years. They expect him here in 2029. At number 16, right-handed pitcher Calvin Ziegler. Ziegler missed almost all of the 23 season due to a torn quad after working his way back from off-season bone spur surgery. He ended up getting into one game and struck out the side in one inning of work. He's healthy heading into the spring training. I think he's a little forgotten about at times. He has a mid-90s fastball with plus right and a hammer of a curveball. He has been working on a split change for over a year, and the Mets are excited to see that develop more in 2024. They expect him here in 2026. At number 17, third baseman, first baseman Jacob Reimer. Reimer was the Mets' 4th-round pick in the 23 draft out of Yucapa High School, which is the same school that produced former pitcher Taijuan Walker. He's a strongly built third baseman who has raw power that hasn't been quite made it into games yet. Was immediately transitioned to his strong plate discipline as he had a .399 on base percentage in 2023. It will be important for him to turn that batting practice power into game power. Defensively, he's good enough at third to stick there, but he has also played a little at first. And the Mets may investigate some corner outfield versatility. He'll be here in 2026, according to the article. At number 18, outfielder Alex Ramirez. Mets recently added Ramirez to the 40-man roster to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. He struggled offensively, repeating High A Brooklyn, and a couple of scouts who have seen him said his swing path is a problem that needs to be fixed. He's still a standout defensive player who can play center field and impact things on the bases. 2024 is a big year for him as he may start the season in Brooklyn again. He has an opportunity to regain his prospect status in a meaningful way with some positive changes offensively. Expected ETA is 2026. At number 19, right-handed pitcher Jose Butto. I played some extra value on someone who has appeared in the big leagues and shown some things. In 9 games for the Mets in 23, but Butto posted a 3.64 ERA while striking out close to a batter per inning. His standout pitch is his plus changeup, and he now has both a 4 and 2 seam fastball and a developing slider. He looks like a number 5 star swingman type, which will be valuable depth in the Mets in 24 and beyond. He's already here. At number 20, right-handed pitcher Tyler Stewart. Stewart was a 6th-round pick as a college reliever in the 22 MLB draft. The Mets sent him out as a starter in 23. The experiment worked wonderfully as he posted a 2.20 ERA across 21 starts between High A Brooklyn and Double A Binghamton. He primarily focused on throwing a sinker that will touch the mid-90s and a slider, which was his most often thrown pitch. He also began to mix in a changeup and a cutter. Stewart has since begun work on a 4-seam fastball to give a different look. It remains to be seen how many of these 5 pitches in his arsenal will actually be utilized in 24. Scouts are torn on whether he's a starter or reliever at the next level, but most believe he is a future major leaguer. I believe he'll be with the Mets in 2025. At number 21, infielder Jesus Baez. Baez struggled a bit since he came stateside after being the Dominican Summer League Player of the Year for the Mets in 22. He's a power above hit type of player with a solid play discipline. Baez's defensive future is likely as a third baseman, so the bat will have to improve. They say here he'll be in the big leagues 2027. At number 22, two-way player Nolan McLean. We talked a lot about him. The Mets will allow McLean to both pitch and hit to start his pro career. They'll also send him out as a starter this year and try to build up his innings and arsenal. Most expect him to be a late inning reliever long term and a possible closer of a fastball up to 98 miles per hour with wipeout slider. He has light tower power as a hitter with massive swing and miss issues that need to be trimmed down to continue as a hitter in Pro Bowl. He is very excited because he throws extremely hard, and he might be a guy that could be a major closer in the big leagues. But we'll see. At number 23, right-handed pitcher Cade Morris. Morris, I would mention a lot of these players in the last 2 years. I have a playlist, and I have scouting reports on all these players. So if you want to find out about any of the players I said in this video, go check those out. Morris was the Mets' third-round pick in the 23 draft out of the University of Nevada. He pitched basically in the mountains, elevation waves, and still showed the ability to spin the ball. He may not have a true elite pitch right now, but has 4 solid offerings that he can locate. Morris likely needs a year of pro nutrition and weight training, and there could be some more velocity to be had there. He has the basic profile of a back-end starter. Expect him in the majors in 2026. At number 24, catcher Ronald Hernandez. Hernandez follows the trend of plus plate discipline and pitch recognition skills that you have read about on this list. He led the complex league with a .476 on-base percentage in 2023. He also has solid bat-to-ball skills, but lacks power. Defensively, he's a leader who is already bilingual at 20 years old. He's a good receiver with some throwing arm strength. Expect him in the majors in 27. At number 25, shortstop Boston Barrow. Barrow was the Mets' 8th-round pick in the 2023 draft, where they signed him for $700,000. He's already reportedly up to 190 pounds, which is about 15 pounds higher than his listed weight when he was drafted. Currently has a line drive approach offensively with some hope of power if he continues to physically mature. He's a good athlete who should be able to play the middle infield positions. The Mets player development staff is excited about him. Expect him in the majors in 2028. Number 26, utility player Wilfredo Lara. I was told by more than one Mets scout that Lara might be the biggest sleeper prospect in the system. He posted 814 OPS in 99 games with low A St. Lucie as a 19-year-old with 35 extra base hits, including 14 homers. He also appeared at every position except pitcher and catcher. Lara has physically matured more than this offseason, and someone the Mets will look to make some noise in 2024. He's expected to be in the majors in 2027. At number 27, right-handed pitcher Ramon Gomez. Coming off Tommy John surgery, Gomez should return around mid-season. He's a pure reliever, and when he's healthy, Sits 97, 98 miles per hour with his fastball touching 101 with big ride on it. He also has a 88 to 90 mile per hour slider that generates swings and misses. Control is an issue, but he is healthy and can improve his command. He can be a quick-moving reliever. I expect him in the majors in 2026. At number 28, shortstop Branny Del Olio. He's a new name. I've not done a video on him yet. I've heard about him in little bits and pieces. Del Olio signed for $10,000 in 23 as an 18-year-old international free agent. He showed strong contact skills with just a 9% strikeout rate in the Dominican Summer League. Pounds are questioned based on how much he can physically mature. A good athlete who should have enough arm to stick it short, and he should move stateside in 24. If he continues on his trajectory, he can move up this list very quickly. 2028 is when he's expected to be here. At number 29, shortstop A.J. Ewing. Ewing out of the Springboro High School in Ohio was the fourth-round compensatory, excuse me, it's not saying it right, pick received for Jacob deGrom, signing with the Rangers. Despite his smaller size, he has flashed exit velocities around 100 miles per hour. It certainly has room to grow. He tries to jump on pitches and pulls them almost a little too much. Ewing is a good athlete with range, but my best profile at second base. His ETA is at 2028. At number 30, finally on this list, right-handed pitcher Austin Dresser. Dresser was the Mets' other fourth-round compensatory pick. This one for Chris Bassett, signed with the Blue Jays. He was mostly relieved in college, though he has done some bulk innings work and will be sent out as a starter in 2024. Dresser found a big velocity jump, reportedly touching 98 in his last year of college, though he's only been up to 95 in early bullpens for the Mets. That 95 does come with 20 inches of induced vertical break. He also throws a slider and a changeup. So you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hub. We'll have plenty of stuff like this and everything that's going on with the Mets farm system and their minor leaguers and their prospects. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.